We're going to go on to Power Plus Electronics. Russ Woodmansee is the CEO, works with Amos very closely. This is under the Digital Power Technology Group. Digital Power Plus Electronics is made up of Digital Power Corp, which has been around for 50 plus years, the old name of the public company, and Power Plus Electronics Distributor is a company we bought last year. Russ joins us from EMC. He's a gentleman, and he's helping build out something that I'm really fond of, which is Power Plus Electronics as a distributor of electronic in the power supply space. It's a really big addressable market. While the margins are a little lower, the ability for distribution is larger. It becomes a much larger opportunity for us. And with that, Russ Woodmansee.
Thanks, John. Thank you. I've never been called a gentleman from my wife or anybody. Okay, so it's good to be here. Thank you very much. I'm real pleased to be with the company. I've been here for 1 year, as Todd mentioned, or just recently almost hired me on, and I spent 2018, a long time, a lot of energies looking at the 5 subsidiaries of the Kulis's family. And since recently, we've simplified the organization at the holding company. Oh, I have a little animation, so I'll have to figure out a cue to Crypto Joe. Thanks. So Power Plus is the accumulation of the Power Plus Technical Distributor Unit and the Digital Power North America. Next slide. So our vision is very, very, very classic and tried and very well tested and with great results. It's customer focus. We've got to have high customer satisfaction for differentiation. The same for this customer service and support. I'm on the commercial side, but no less, and involved in a variety of industries and products placed into different applications. Defense applications, medical applications, these are life-saving or life-threatening, whatever, but the point is that they're very critical and must work. So we've got to be on the quality and the customer satisfaction angle, number one. We have a very highly trained staff of folks in the power industry. DPC, Digital Power, was founded in 1969. And actually, I think we have 1 employee, if we don't, most of that time since has been with us. So it's pretty nice. It's a tight family of people. We've got over 200 active customers. We're focusing in these 4 areas, market areas: extreme environmental, medical, transportation, modular, and the high power applications of modular power. Almost 20 of our customers are buying at a clip of $100,000 or more annually, some much more. Our top 7 customers contribute about 2/3 of our annual revenue. Currently, right now, the product catalog that we have is over 1,400 different products, configurations of products. That's probably across 8 or 9 product families from great manufacturers and designers of the world, including Digital Power. The Digital Power brand is a family of product that we're very proud of, and it plays a center role going forward. We also represent a line card or a distribution card of manufacturers of 80 to 100 different manufacturers of a variety of power electronics parts. And so this is the highlights. Our gross margins for about 2/3 of the revenue is at 42%. 7 customers? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so 2/3 and 2/3, but those are accurate. So we're about 42% gross margin across 2/3 of our revenue. Next slide, please. So customer products on the distribution side, we have a variety of, power-related products that I mentioned. Power supplies that are on rails, that are configurable, accessories for power systems and power solutions. As you can see, fan blowers, external power supplies. We take them for granted, but they actually take a little bit of energy to put together, and they're very important for our mission-critical applications. External power supplies look like Dell power supplies, but they're a little bit more important, those applications. Next slide. And then the power electronics value-add solutions that we do are a little bit larger in scale, but we have telco products. What's interesting is I have two units. So I've got the Fremont-based system, a Fremont-based office, where we do a lot of our high volume transactions coming out of low-cost regions in Asia-Pac, come to Fremont. We warehouse and then we fulfill. We direct order fulfill. And our other unit, 3 hours east of Fremont, in the gold mining, the old gold rush area of California, in Sonora, we have a value added and a design group there that actually produces and designs these products. And it's interesting, they're the ones with that 80 to 100 product line card. And they were self-feeding themselves. They were establishing alliances with distribution with different manufacturers in order to be able to select the best products and components to create their own designs. And so the place in Sonora, they actually do very quick turn, rapid prototypes, and they're able to take product that they have in stock or that they have within a day or two, put together prototypes and manufacture solutions for people. There are a lot of customers in Silicon Valley that the Sonora office has a great reputation for supporting. And time to market is everything still in Silicon Valley. So it's a great advantage that we have to have that capability. We work with factories, and we have to mandate and make sure that we're having factories that are fully UL TUV certified. We have to keep that in order, and that takes effort on our part. We are dealing with the latest certifications for manufacturing, repeatable quality manufacturing. Next slide. Our sales network is basic here and helpful and very, it's actually just fine for right now. We have the North American sales is handled by an inside and outside sales team that work for me. The EU distribution channel, we're leaning out and working, aligning with Amos on the Gresham Commercial Power side of his UK office. And we also extend our reach, and we're starting to work more closely with a couple of manufacturer electronic rep companies, Tritech and Pinnacle. Next slide. And so to wrap up kind of a real, just quick summary of the companies that I'm running here is that we have strategic partners. We have a very, very strong relationship with a manufacturer in China called TeamWise. We have a long-term partner and close relationship with Advice Electronics. They're a great outfit. They do similar things to what I'm trying to do, and they're based out of Israel. But they've got some great products that we use and that we work together to design in for our customers. And we're hoping to get some more traction with that product family as one of our product families that we can lean on. We're really very happy with Advice Electronics. Other names that you may or may not recognize, Akbel, Arch, EDAC, or Taiwanese product designers and manufacturers. EOS is an Indian company, and we're starting to look at strengthening that relationship. And lastly, in terms of partnerships and other things that we're involved in, we're very, very strong in our supply chain globally. We move a lot of product around and to customers, and we directly fulfill. So we want to be able to and have been supporting Phil Mansour's company, MTIX International, with regard to planning for fulfillment. We're actually working on ideas for cost reduction and want to be able to facilitate his ramp for production. And again, the MTIX, that's an interesting one, but it's made of a bunch of power parts and power electronics, and we really think we're very familiar with that, and the factories and the way the supply chain is built. I've already been intimate with that, and we feel very, very, very lucky to be able to work with MTIX in the near future on that at that level. Next slide. Just a recent high-level timeline. I mean, we're coming from being acquired in 2017. This is Power Plus Technical Distributors, the Sonora outfit. Last year was a lot of time, myself coming up to speed, but also consolidation and dealing with the realities of integration. You can have 5 separate companies, but we were looking to try to find opportunities for efficiencies and normalizing processes that might be good for everybody, but some processes might not. But be able to find that gold is what we were doing in 2018, and coming up with the strategies about what we're going to do now and go forward. So 2019 ahead of us is right-sizing the business. We've done some work to that level already last month. We're stabilizing sales performance, and the big one is we're going to overhaul this, something called the distributor model, which I'll talk about, and launch Power Plus Electronics formally. This is probably the biggest event with regard to the new idea that this is Power Plus Electronics.
And the best part of it, too, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you.
Sorry, I'm very biased towards this idea.
Next slide, please. So this is some of the work we did last year, and again, it's back to, in my role as COO for Amos, was looking at, for example, upgrading our ERP system such that it can support a corporate or an enterprise implementation, and it might be an appropriate path at the right time for certain early stage businesses that we have in the holding company that we can utilize a common platform. There's a lot of similar things. I think also, yeah, we were very, very good. That almost asked me to start. You know, when I came on board in February, we got busy right away and started looking at strategies to support the super crypto mining initiatives at the time a year ago. Not to bring up the bad word, but the Bitcoin and the blockchain. But blockchain is really stable, super great technology. That's there. And so what we did is we created a strategy for a family of power products that need to be managing electricity very well and in a very highly efficient manner. And so Amos and I put together the strategy to go and design a family of power supplies and start with a building block of a stand-up alone power supply, but then be able to take that schematic and all the energy and the development, because we forward designed higher level products, and what I'll say a higher level, like a telco grade power supply that's hot swappable, that's got the reliability numbers of the 5 nines that telco needs. If we did that, and it was also designed to just properly support blockchain, because that is going to be all around us in what we do, I think that'd be a great element to add to a data center. And so we kicked off a development team, and some process and some weekly approach, and we're starting to map ourselves and design this technology. We're probably around 75% ready or done, and we have to decide now to take it to that next level, to the telecom power shelf, and that's something we'll be doing this year, we hope. Next slide. There were some challenges, and there are challenges, the choppiness of our revenue, and we've had a lot of leadership changes. We've got a fairly young sales group. So it's a thought, it's an internal thought. Are we trying to be everything to everybody? What's going on here? But I think trying to solve this is also one of the fun things we're going to do this year in 2019. So here's this, so you can click the button. There's some animation here. What I'm trying to show is the cyclic nature of a bid to contract type revenue flow. There's a long pre-sale, energy goes in to sell that contract. Once you've got it, you could be 9 to 18 months in before you've even placed any orders with your manufacturers, and you've got revenue flowing back for deployments. But if you have a bunch of projects and a bunch of wins like that, this cycle is going to be small. The peak to peak will shrink. But I think what's happened with us is we've found some of our contracts and our customer engagements were waning, and we're finding that this peak to peak is spreading out on us. And it's dangerous because, look, if this is a break-even expense line, I'm having to pay that out of my reserves to be able to get through over time. If this line drops or this thing spreads out, this is really a dangerous situation, and I think that's something that we want to address. Hey, thanks. It worked. You're welcome. Notice this little thin piece down at the bottom. We call it book and ship. This is an ongoing weekly accommodation that we kind of just say, hey, we're going to get about that much unplanned call-in orders. It's about $1 million. It's north of $1 million a year, and we really don't do much to this. Oh yeah, and that's how bad, right, that can get. So the book and ship, we don't really do much to make that happen. It's legacy, it's our reputation. It's taken decades to earn that, but we're really not doing anything with it. We'd like to. So next slide, please. And this is just, I would like to get that. Oh, okay. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to focus on distribution. and turn that into a scalable distribution model where book and ship. Oh yeah, it comes in. We get about $30,000, $20,000 a week. Just comes in naturally. We'd like to put that on steroids and make something of it, and purpose build this revenue stream. Because I would like to see that little green sliver. If you go to the next slide, I'd like to see that green. See if we can animate that up. I'd like to just lift that up and prop us up on top of something so that my bob and weave cycles are all gravy, icing. And plus this is high margin, typically higher margin, higher markup. So this is simply our approach, is that we believe that we need to invest in the distribution model. I've got great moral support with Todd in his belief in it. Next slide.
2 minutes, Russ.
Thanks. So it's really about digitizing something that we don't have yet that's more analog. We have separate systems, product selector, a website, and an ERP system to run my manufacturing supply chain. I need to digitize that. I need to link and automate these together. I need to tie in a marketing plan so that I can drive my distribution business into a fast tempo, turn those inventories, speed them up, and be able to ship in like next day. I came from EMC where we were shipping hyper-converged racks. We did them in about 2.5 hours. Where it comes in, we had it all just nailed. So it's possible to do better than what we do now. And if this is a robust engine being driven with leads and online technology, we're going to get leads into the value add business as well from this. We'd get maybe 1 a month now. We'd probably get up to 5 to 10 once this thing's rolling. And then the value add business is going to be a benefit from that as well. These blue arrows is just trying to say customer comes in, boom, they got their product. This is a little bit of a longer deal because there's a design and a sell-in that has to happen before you can get those products out. So the key to this is our online. We're going to have to online market and work this engine once we build it, and we need to be involved, hands involved on the analytics. Next slide. In order to understand if it's working or not. So this is a lot of detail. This is the value add revenue stream, and this is the DISTI right now. And here we are. This is just kind of what's been happening on its own course. Right about this time frame, we start investing. You don't see it too much, but there is a lift, and this is an inflection point in this time frame where we'll start to pay back maybe $150,000, $200,000 investment into that distribution model and the ads and the spend. We'll be paying that. That'll pay for itself in less than a year. And then we're really looking, and we're already seeing bookings come up. Bookings right now increased 40% for the third quarter of 2019. So we're already seeing an improvement because we started to adopt a more targeted, less is more strategy on the value add. And you can see this is more steeply rising. But this is going to come for the investment for distribution model, and then it's really going to be able to scale for us next year. Next slide. So the power electronics industry is anywhere at 20 to $34 billion. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what reports you're reading. But in 5 years, we'll be driven by transportation sector and the autonomous vehicles and IoT. We'll be driving that up to somewhere close to $50 billion by 2023. So there's a lot of room for us. We're right about in this space here. And I'm expecting the outlook to be in 2019 north of 7, and the next year we're ranging 10 to 12, and by 2025 I see no problem in being able to put ourselves in this range, in the 25 to 50 million as a business, as a going concern. Next. Okay. And that's just kind of a break-even analysis, so you can look at that offline. But it says right here, 2019. That's where we need to be in order to be a path to profitability. I think there's just one more slide. And so, again, purpose-built digital marketing platform for distribution. And there are some infrastructure in there that we need to hook up. We need to digitize that. It's right now quite manual and unconnected. Sales strategy and the product management course correction, less is more. This is very important. We have 1,400 products, I think I said. We probably should have about 800 or 900, and we should be targeting where we're going, and that's what we're doing right now. So we'll be doing re-engagement programs with legacy customers. I think we've lost a few, and we're going to go back and see if we can get back into the next design cycle with them. This is just the standard stuff, and we're going to continue to focus on the operational efficiencies and wherever we can for the whole holding company. I think that's it. If there are any questions.
Thanks, Russ. Good job, buddy. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Could you go back 3 slides?
Yeah.
So this is something that I discussed with Amos when I first got involved, and he's you were to pretend like there was nothing else in all of DPW Holdings. One of the reasons I'm excited about this is Amos over 10 years has developed really just amazing manufacturing relationships overseas and in India and China. Now, we experienced like Armageddon in December. I don't know if you guys, it was not only the market going down, but Trump and Chinese sanctions and people, the tariffs are an issue for us. So I'd argue like December was just a kind of a quasi. It was really a bad month for not only the market but for people who did business overseas. But what was evident about that is the relationships that Amos and now Russ have in India and other opportunities. The Digital Power brand has been around for 50 years and is an approved vendor with the Raytheons of the world, a lot of defense contractors around the world and in the United States. And this number is terrible, but really manageable. And the difference between here and here seems like a lot, but it's not that big of a tweak to capture some of that market. So I have a thesis, and wrong or right, we're going down the road of expanding under the Power Plus Electronics brand name with Digital Power as a manufactured product of ours. We're going to keep that product name as a product we distribute. But I really believe that long term, that Coolisys, separate from this but part of the technology group, that this particular business from a distribution model gets to be a lot bigger. And it doesn't take a lot for that to happen, especially with the relationships we have. So, almost mentioned to me, you never want a competitor to listen to what I'm about to say, but we had some really big wins at one time. One time, almost won the contract to build the power supplies for the Xbox. Well, needless to say, Microsoft figured out that we were an $8 million company. That contract went away pretty quickly after we won it. But with scale comes opportunity here. And so Russ coming over from EMC, almost recruiting him. I'm very excited about this business. I think that this business alone is worth more than what we have in the entire market cap of DPW. And so I look for this business to add it to revenue in 19 and beyond. It's going to take a little bit of time to build that distribution model out. But I'm pretty excited about this, and I want to compete with. Is that true? Allied's only 500 million. Seems like it'd be bigger, right? But I'd like to see us compete with Sager and TRC. I think TRC is kind of the low-hanging fruit for us in terms of being a competitor with them, and then from there, we'll get aggressive in this space. I really like this opportunity. So thanks a lot, Russ.